This is Dave Neslin, who's the director of the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission. You told the county that you had concerns about local government adopting conflicting regulatory requirements. Can you please tell us why and what opportunities there are for the county and the state to work together?
Well, the concern is with local governments adopting different regulatory requirements than the state has, that can create confusion, require the expenditure of staff time, add additional costs and delays to the regulatory process. On a more general level, we have 64 different counties. We have hundreds of municipalities. If each county or municipality adopts its own regulatory standards and requirements for oil and gas development, we'll end up with a patchwork quilt of requirements that doesn't serve the public and doesn't serve the state. Our program has a number of opportunities for local governments like El Paso County to participate. Whether it's on a well-by-well basis, we notify the local government with permit applications. They have an opportunity to consult with us to recommend conditions. We notify them when we make a decision. They're entitled to a hearing before our commission should they wish one. Or on more of a landscape or programmatic basis, they can work through our commission to encourage our commission to adopt site-specific regulations or jurisdiction-specific regulations and requirements. There's a variety of these tools that are available. We recently entered into a memorandum of understanding with Gunnison County to address some issues that Gunnison County had, and that's another alternative. So I think at the end of the day, we all share the same objective, which is to ensure that these resources, which we all utilize, are developed in a responsible manner that protects public health and safety in the environment, and we want to work together in achieving that objective.
In general, do you think that the county's proposed regulations are unnecessary, or do you think that the state's regulations are enough?
Well, there are some areas that we leave to local governments. Transportation and roads is a good example. We don't purport to regulate transportation and road issues. We leave that to the local government. There's some other issues that we also leave to local governments. But we have a very well-developed regulatory program that looks at the downhole issues and looks at the surface environmental issues. And we have a number of very experienced staff who have scientific degrees from colleges, graduate degrees. Our technical staff averages more than 20 years of experience each. So we think a lot of these issues are best dealt with at the state level, both in terms of uniformity and in terms of quality of attention and expertise.
Last thing, we heard a lot of concerns from residents that live in this area about groundwater. Can you talk just a little bit about that and what protections are in place to ensure that our groundwater is safe should drilling occur?
Well, look, groundwater protection is vital, and every member of our commission, every member of our staff believes that's the case. We have a number of regulatory requirements that address groundwater protection. The first line of defense is the integrity of the wellbore, because if you think about it, we don't want anything going down the wellbore, like the fracturing fluids, and we don't want anything coming up the wellbore, like the oil and the gas, which is also hazardous, to get into groundwater. So we require operators to case and cement their wells to ensure that the wellbore is isolated from any drinking water aquifers or other usable aquifers. Then we have our second line of defense, which is a variety of regulatory requirements that apply to surface operations to ensure that there's secondary containment at the well site, proper handling of any chemicals and waste products, that waste fluids are properly managed and disposed of. And then our third line of defense is groundwater sampling and a prompt and effective inspection program and prompt responses to complaints. We require operators to sample groundwater in many areas of the state. Colorado really has been a leader on that issue. We've worked with the oil and gas industry on a new program that they're going to be initiating next month that will lead to the sampling of 2 water wells for each new oil and gas well that's drilled in the state. And those water wells will be sampled before the oil and gas well is drilled and hydraulically fractured, and again after the oil and gas well is drilled and hydraulically fractured. And the results of that sampling will be provided to the local water well owners and then to our commission and be publicly available. So we have a multifaceted process for protecting groundwater that we think works well in practice.
Last thing, really quickly, any advice to El Paso County?
Well, As I discussed with county commissioners today, we would welcome the opportunity to work with them and to educate them about some of the different opportunities through our regulatory program that we can collaboratively address their issues of concern while avoiding a proliferation of differing local requirements that create confusion or inefficiency.
Okay, thank you much.
Thank you.